We're going to get into teaching people how to use Sales Navigator. And I'm curious to know, what version of LinkedIn do you currently have? Do you have the free version? Do you have the premium version? Do you have the Sales Navigator version? So go ahead in the chat, tell us which version you have. Ooh, looks like Lizzie has the LinkedIn Recruiter version. I love that. David has the free version. Amazing. Y René dijo, entiendo casi todo en español. Pero ¿qué clase de español? ¿Español de Argentina o español de México? ¿Qué clase de español entendés? We got Stacy in the house with the Zoom camera, zooming in and out with the fancy AI camera. I love that. Thank you for coming in all fancy and stuff, fancy schmancy. If anybody wants to else put in their LinkedIn URL, so far we only have three people that put it, or four now with RT putting in their LinkedIn URL. But if we only have 4 people, that's sad. Make me happy by putting in your LinkedIn URL. We need at least 50% participation in here. Otherwise, I'll just go to sleep. I don't want to fall asleep. We got Benjamin put in his. Okay, we're almost there, guys. Put in your LinkedIn URL. And I'll tell you also why I want everyone to put their LinkedIn URL. I want you to get more connections. Did you know that every connection you get on LinkedIn becomes a follower? And every time you have connections on LinkedIn, you could leverage their connections to get in the door at places that you were never able to get in the door via second-degree connections. And I'm going to teach you how to do that today with Sales Navigator. So whether you're new here or you've been here in the past, put in your LinkedIn URL. Also, I'm just curious to know, is this your first time getting exposed to the mojo-vation that Joe Apfelbaum has? Or have you been here before? First time, write 1. And if you've been here before, write 8. If you've been here before, write 8. But if it's your first time, okay, it's your first time. We got Renee first time, Louis first time, David first time, Lizzie first time. Okay, excellent. So we got enough LinkedIn URLs, but if you can't find your LinkedIn URL, I'm going to teach you how to find it. You just go to your own profile like this. You see? You go to your own profile, and then on the top, it shows you your LinkedIn URL. If you're still not sure, go to your own contact info, and then it'll show you where it says your profile. It'll show you your LinkedIn URL. The other way to find your LinkedIn URL is to click on the Me button and then click on View Profile. And then whatever loads on the top of the URL, that's your LinkedIn URL, just like that. Okay? So I want you guys to know your LinkedIn URL because that's one of the most important things that you want to be sharing in general. So for example, Stacy, she shared her LinkedIn URL over here. She's a professional EOS implementer. And then we have Rosie here as well. Rosie, welcome. Mucho gusto, Rosie. Okay, then we have this one that didn't work. Lizzie, yours didn't work. So if you can post one that works, that'd be awesome. Okay, yeah, I get a 4, unless you blocked me for some reason. This is Benjamin's. This is RT's. I'm gonna open up RT's as well over here. This is RT's, the president of Team Logic IT. And look how amazing this is. Pulling up people's profiles is fantastic. Now, if somebody has a gold icon, that means that they're paying for LinkedIn. So be looking out for those gold icons in general. You want to make sure that you're looking out for those gold icons because people that pay attention. So if you're wondering if somebody's not paying attention to their LinkedIn, often it's because they're not investing in it. And the people that are investing on LinkedIn usually pay a little bit more attention to the people that are not paying for LinkedIn. So look out for those people that are paying for it and pay extra attention to that. Now, Sales Navigator is a little bit different than the organic side, but when you reach out to someone using Sales Navigator, for example, I'm going to click on the Sales Navigator platform right over here. It's linkedin.com/sales. And I'm actually going to click on my own little picture over here, and then I'm going to click on the Social Selling Index. Now, this Social Selling Index is a score where you actually get a number. So go ahead and tell me what your number is. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. You saw my number. My number is 77 out of 100. I'm curious to know what your number is. Go ahead and click on that link I just sent you and pull up your number because that'll also give you hints onto what you could be doing to be more successful. Okay, so go ahead, check it out. Now, I'm consistently sending people messages on LinkedIn. And I have a specific goal. My goal is to get conversations with people. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say conversations? I don't mean like going back and forth in the DM. I mean like literally having a phone conversation or a Zoom conversation or a WhatsApp conversation where we're talking. because vibrations in your voice is what creates connections in your heart. That's like what happens. So if you want to connect with somebody deeply and build trust, you got to have the conversation where you hear their vibration and they hear your vibration and you guys are vibrating together. So my question to you is, who is your ideal client that you would want to have a conversation with? Put it in the chat. I want at least 50% participation here. That means at least 9 people are going to put in who their ideal person is that they want to chat with. And if you're not sure, write not sure. And if no one, just put a 0 in the chat, but at least put something. So Benjamin Hirsch wants to talk to realtors or real estate investors. Love that, Benjamin. That is really cool. Very easy to communicate with real estate realtors in your local area and real estate investors on LinkedIn. So easy to reach out to them. Business owners, Stacy said. Now, Stacy, business owners is a bit general because you can have someone who's a business owner that just has an LLC and doesn't have any money. And you can have a business owner that has a $22 billion company. They're publicly traded. So those are two different levels. So I would kind of, and also there's industries. You can have a business owner somewhere in Malaysia that has a tunnel mining company. That might not be the most ideal thing for you, and they don't have a cell phone or internet. Like we need to like classify. I like picking industries, and anything that you could search for on Sales Navigator would be ideal. That would show you less than 10,000 people. I would say try to get your search down to 1,000 results. If it's less than 1,000 results, that means you're niche enough. If it's more than 1,000 results, it's too many, and you're not going to be able to properly go through the list. Okay, so 1,000 is a good number. You want to have 1,000 of those people in your world. So if the number is only like 10, then globally, then the number is too small. You know what I mean? So you want it to be like Goldilocks. You don't want to be too big. You don't want to be too small. You want it to be just right. You know what I mean? You don't want it to be too big. Don't want it to be just right. Just right is the way to go. Okay, so let's see what people are saying. David said small business, SMB owners, revenue 1 to 30 million, any industry looking to grow. Again, any industry is good in terms of accepting and receiving. Any industry is bad when you're doing outbound, because if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So we're going to cover 5 things today in this Sales Navigator class. Number 1 is we're going to cover strategy. Number 2 is we're going to cover lists. Number 3 is we're going to cover search. Number 4 is we're going to cover InMail. Number 5 is we're going to cover alerts. And then we'll talk a little bit about automation throughout and how to make things easier with systems and processes. Benjamin says, will we get the recording? It will be available on YouTube. The recording will be available. So from a logistics standpoint, yes, you will get the recording. By the way, this is something I like to ask. What is your star sign? It's very important for me to know your star sign. So go ahead, put it in the chat. Mine is not Aquarius. Mine is not Virgo. Mine is not Gemini. Can you guess? What is yours? Go ahead. Put yours in. You might. Oh, there you go. Stacy guessed correct. I'm a Scorpio. Excellent. Well done. She's like, Scorpio. I nailed it. You're a Scorpio. I can tell from the passion. Renee's a Leo. Rosie's a Gemini. Then we have another Gemini. Okay, then we have Lewis's more Scorpios. Oh, it's raining Scorpios. Hey, hang on a second. It's raining. The Scorpios are coming from the top of the screen. It's just falling. It's Geminis and Scorpios. What's with this Gemini and Scorpio energy? Do we have anybody else? Oh, finally, a Sagittarius comes into the room. Oh, okay, wonderful, wonderful, excellent. Anything else? Anybody else want to share? Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need one more person to share their sun sign. We need a 9th. Do we have a 9th? Anyone? Please? Can we get one more? Could we get one more person to comment with their star sign? Anybody? Maybe the note taker can comment. Finally, Honey tunes in and saves the day with the Virgos. Virgos usually save the day. They're a little anxious, but they save the day usually. Oh, and we have an Aries, of course. That's why you love making cold calls. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share my screen right over here. I want to show you something interesting. I sent this guy, Julian, a message. Julian is an AI expert and a best-selling author. And I said, do you want comments? I noticed that you post on LinkedIn, and I wondered if you wanted to hear a strategy to get more engagement on your posts. Happy to share what's working for me and my clients. I also can send you a presentation of what I did recently. I love educating my LinkedIn community on how to build a community. Looking forward to your profile, see what I'm up to. Appreciate your reply. He replied, he said, Joe, thanks for reaching out. I appreciate you taking the time and your expertise. At the moment, I'm not looking to explore new strategies or presentations around LinkedIn engagement, but I wish you all the best. So I replied, I said, I appreciate your thoughtful response, Julian. While you may not be looking for new strategies right now, I'd love to share a few insights that work real well for me. Engagement through questions, storytelling, and consistency. If you ever want to explore how evyAI can assist with crafting strategies and content, I'm here to help. So he replies, he's like, hey, Joe, your tips on engagement really stuck with me. Thanks again for those. Actually, something came to mind. We're currently opening up a few featured course placements for high visibility partners who align with our mission to expand AI literacy. Given your work with evyAI and your focus on impact and storytelling, it would be great that you can share synergy. If you're open to it, share more about how it works and see if it might be a good fit. And now, what am I going to say to the guy? The guy wants to put me on his course platform. This came from an in-mail. It didn't start today. This started on May 4th. Do you see this? I planted the seed on May 4th. He got back to me on Friday, this Friday, which was way more than a month later, and then Saturday, and then Wednesday. Do you see the way we went back and forth over here? So I have a question for you. How many messages are you sending out a day? Give me a number in the chat. How many messages are you sending out a day? We got a lot of zeros in the house. We got the zeros in the house. The zeros in the house. There's a lot of zeros in the house. That's awesome. I love seeing all these beautiful zeros. This is a massive opportunity for you. A massive opportunity for you to start sending messages. Every message is like a deposit. You're putting a deposit. You know what I mean? You're planting a seed. You don't know what's going to happen. But if you plant a crappy seed, you're probably going to get nothing. Like a rotten seed, a bad seed, a seed in the wrong place. You know what I mean? If you plant a seed on your bookshelf, you're not going to get a flower. You know what I mean? If you give a seed just put it on your computer table or in the toilet, it's not going to work. What you want to do is you want to put a seed in the right environment, give it the right sunlight, the right water, the right love, and then you'll see a seedling come out in a period of time. It's not guaranteed, but it's likely that if you put in 20, 30, 40, 50 seeds, a percentage of them will come out. Do you guys get what I'm saying? It's the same thing with DMs. You got to do it in the right way with the right strategy. That's why strategy is number one. I spend a lot of time on strategy because strategy is number one. You need the right strategy. I say the following. The right strategy will save you a decade. Now, do you need a strategy or do you have a strategy? And by the way, I have something called the Sales Navigator Bootcamp. It's 6 hours long. And I teach you all these different things on how to do that. I'm going to do a quick version now, but if you need a long bootcamp and you want to learn, just say interested in the chat and we'll send you more details about our 6-hour class. Do we need in-mail? You don't need in-mail because you can send regular DMs. My recommendation is post once a day, leave 5 comments, send 10 DMs, do 20 connection requests. Those are the things that I recommend doing. Make 30 calls. I recommend doing things in a sequence. And I tell all of the people that do business development for my company, if you're not having 5 conversations a day, you're not actually working. Because everyone should be having 5 conversations a day. If you're doing the right things, you'll be able to have 5 conversations a day. And I have 99 different hacks on how to be able to leverage LinkedIn. I have literally 99 hacks on how to leverage LinkedIn. And many of these shortcuts will help you be able to do things faster and better. If you're looking for more clients, the number one indicator that will tell you if you're going to get clients or not is not how many followers you have. It's not how many connections you have. It's not how many posts you have. It's not how viral you go. It's literally how many conversations you have on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. My goal is 5 conversations a day, 20 a week, 80 a month, 1,000 a year. Now, initially, they don't need to be strategic conversations. They just need to be conversations. Eventually, as you fill up your calendar, now you start saying, okay, now I have 5 a day, 20 a week, 80 a month, 1,000 a year. I need to start making them very strategic because I'm full. Because every conversation could be a powerful conversation because when God sends blessing, he sends it through relationships. That's what I see. He doesn't send a blessing randomly. It comes through a relationship. And usually you being the giver in the relationship, and somehow blessing comes because you're the giver. I'm showing up giving right now. I'm not asking you for money. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm here. I'm giving. I want to make a difference for you. If I can help you with a strategy, that's good. I feel like every blessing, every bit of blessing that I ever gave, including having my kids, I had to give something. I had to give something for literally everything. And I'm still giving, paying child support. You know what I mean? You got to keep giving, 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 giving. Because the secret to living is giving. That's what I believe. I feel most alive when I'm doing for other people. The problem is when you send a shitty in-mail to somebody, when you're sending a terrible in-mail, you're actually spamming them. You're taking. You get what I'm saying? So you don't want to be taking from somebody. You want to be giving. So how do you frame your in-mails to be giving? And that goes back to your strategy. Because if you're targeting everybody, you're targeting nobody. You get what I'm saying? So I'm going to show you something. When I post, I'm giving. This is part of what I do. When I post, I'm giving. So I'm going to show you my post. I'm going to click on me. I'm going to click on post and activity. I'm going to show you a post. And I expect everyone here to post one question related to what they're wondering about related to Sales Navigator in the comments. I simply said, what do you want to learn? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to put a link to the post in the comments. Click on that post and then leave a comment on the post and ask a question. Any question you want. How do I get clients from Sales Navigator? What's the difference between LinkedIn Sales Navigator and LinkedIn Organic? How do I search to find my right prospects? What's the best thing to say to get a CFO on the phone? Like literally, I'm giving you suggestions of what comments to put. Is it worth it to pay for Sales Navigator? What do I tell somebody that looked at my profile? How much does Sales Navigator cost? Is it really worth it to invest 15 minutes a day on LinkedIn if I need new clients? What do I say when I get somebody on the phone? What's the best thing to say to make them, to identify if they're a potential client? These are all things you guys could ask in the questions of that post. But click on that post and leave a comment. Now, the real reason I want you to leave a comment on that post is so that everyone in the room sees you on LinkedIn. Because everyone will be able to go back to that post later and see everyone that commented, and they'll be able to connect with each other. It'll just make it really easy for everybody. So if you guys haven't, if you haven't clicked on that post yet in the comments of Zoom, go ahead, click on that post, open it up, leave a comment. It just takes a second. And that will enable everybody else to find you and connect with you much faster than them, any other way. So I love comments on LinkedIn because comments on LinkedIn do a few things. It gives you exposure to your connections. Did you know that when you comment on LinkedIn, your connections can see that you commented, which is powerful if you're looking for exposure. So that's why I say leave 5 comments a day. Every single day, leave 5 comments. And don't leave comments anywhere. Leave comments on people's posts that are either in the position to refer business or do business with you, or their ideal clients are your ideal clients, all that jazz. There's a guy named John who recently became a client. So let's go back 1 month before he became a client and ask, how did he become a client? So Amelia, one of my clients, attended our monthly strategy session. We have a program called the Evergreen Networking System where we teach people how to create a strategy for LinkedIn and the step-by-step process of what to do to go from lurker to influencer in 15 minutes a day. We have a 9-module course. We have frameworks, checklists, cheat sheets, scripts, a community of 1,000 people. We have all that stuff. So Amelia asked a question during our session. We have a 2-hour strategy session every month. She asked a question. She's like, Joe, how do I find CFOs in Tampa, Florida? Do you know what I did? I went on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I clicked Tampa, Florida, second-degree connections, and the title I clicked is CFO. Okay, you guys know how to do that? If you're not sure how to do that, I'll go into there. You're not sure? Should I show you? I'll quickly show you? Okay, let me quickly show you how to do this. Really simple. And you could do this on the paid and in the free version. I'll show you how to do it in the paid version because the topic is Sales Navigator. So you click on top where it says lead filters. You guys see it says lead filters? I'll zoom in. Do you see it says lead filters on the top next to the search thing? So I'm going to click on lead filters. This opens up 34 different search filters. But remember, without a strategy, all this is not worth anything because you're not even going to know which search filter to use. And you're not going to know what list to create. Okay, so you need a strategy. Then you need to build the right list. Once you have the right list, you need to learn these 34 search filters. If you want to be able to master these search filters, I have a full hour on search filters inside our bootcamp. So just write bootcamp in the chat if you want one of our people to send you details about it. Okay, so I'm going to click on current job title, and I'm going to write CFO. Okay, I'm going to click Chief Financial Officer. Then connection, I'm going to do second because I want people that I already have a mutual connection with that are second. Now, Sales Navigator shows me there's 78,000 people. Remember how many people you need to have? You need to get under 1,000 for it to make sense. You see I have 78,000, too many. So now I'm going to go down, and I'm going to click on geography, and I'm going to do Tampa. Tampa, Florida. Now that I did Tampa, Florida, it takes the CFOs all the way down to 269, which is nice. You see, there's a nice number. Can I make a list of all the CFOs in Tampa, Florida to only 269 that are second degree? I want to take it to the next level, and I want to say, show me the ones that posted on LinkedIn. Now it breaks me down with 28. Now this is something I could work with. Do you see what I'm saying? So I can go in here just like this and send her a message. Now, I already sent her a message. Please let me know if you saw this. Have you seen evyAI? We built an assistant, blah, blah, blah. You see the way I sent her a message already, Christy? Now, I could send her another message, and I could say, are you a CFO? Just checking. I'm going to hit send. Boom. Now, do you see it says free? Because typically, Sales Navigator charges credits to send messages. But if it's an open profile, you can send free. One of my 99 LinkedIn hacks is to send 800 messages to people that are on Sales Navigator. You can send 800 instead of just the 50 the credits that you get by sending it to free profiles. Okay, so these are people you're not even connected to. So I can send a message to all these 28. And by the way, I can actually create a template. And I like using evyAI to create templates. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type in Sales Nav. So check this out. I'm going to click on the subject line. You see this? And I'm going to press the up arrow. And this will just literally just inject the thing into here just like that. Do you train sales teams? And then I can go in here and I can say, I'm looking for sales trainers in Detroit. But this is not what I'm doing, because if I send, I'm looking for sales trainers in Detroit to somebody in Tampa, Florida that's a CFO, that's total spam. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So I need to create a very specific template for this person. So what am I going to do? Should the subject line be? So I could use AI to help me create a subject line. I'm going to go to the AI writer. I'm going to change it to encourage action. And I'm going to say, be conversational. And I'm going to say, I'm doing an in-mail campaign for Sales Navigator, and I'm reaching out to chief financial officers in Tampa, Florida, and I want a subject line and a message. Give me 3 variations of a subject line and a message that I could send these people just to kind of see if they're actually using LinkedIn. These are 28 people that posted on LinkedIn in the past 30 days, and they're second-degree connections of mine. Give me 3 variations of subject lines and messages that I can use. I'm going to hit generate, and I'm just going to see what happens, what evyAI suggests. Okay, so now I have 3 separate subject lines. Do you guys see how quickly that was? I gave evyAI the scenario, and it gave me the things that I need. So I'm going to try this one. Quick question about your LinkedIn activity. So this is the one that I'm going to use. Do you see the way I'm just kind of dragging it in? I'm going to say, I noticed you're active on LinkedIn lately, and I'm curious if you're finding it marking efforts. Okay, so that's the one. I kind of like this. I saw you posted on LinkedIn recently. How's it been working for you? I noticed you're sharing some great content on LinkedIn. I'm interested in how you're using the platform. Okay, so I'm going to choose the first one, and I'm just going to send it like this. And I'm going to send it like this. I was looking through my network in Tampa, and you came up. I noticed you've been, I'm going to say Jennifer. I noticed that you've been active on, now do you see the way that I kind of customize this like this? I'm going to copy this. I'm going to hit send. Now what I can do is I can save this as a template inside evyAI, so I could use it over and over and over and over. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So I'm going to go to the template section. I'm going to click new template. I'm going to tag it as Sales Navigator, so it's in that list. And then I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to do SNMSG CFO Tampa. Okay, and I'm going to hit Save Changes. So now I have the Tampa CFO message, just like that. I'm also going to do the subject line as a separate thing. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to do SN question about activity. And I'll put this in Sales Navigator as well. Okay, so now I have this saved here. I have two templates, one for the subject line and one for the message. You get it? One is specifically for CFOs and one's in general. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just literally going to send it to all these people. So how do I do it? I just open this up, go to the subject line, grab the subject line, grab the message right over here. If I want to add her name, I can add it. And then I just hit send. Do you see how easy that was to message this person? I just dropped a seed. I can do this 800 times a month to people I'm not even connected to. Think about the power. And so I did this with John, a guy named John, a CFO in Tampa, Florida. He did not reply to me. He did not reply to me. Then I went to his profile and left him a comment using an AI. I drafted a comment. He did not reply to me either. Then I called him 3 times. I did AI research with one of my 6 agents. Do you guys want to see how I use an agent to do research on someone? I'll show you. I'll deploy an agent now, and I'll teach you how to do it. Really easy. Just click a button. And then I deployed an agent, researched him, called him 3 times. He didn't pick up. I left him a voicemail. The next day, John calls me back on my cell phone. And he's like, hello, this is John. Is this Joe? I said, yeah, this is Joe. You left me a voicemail. You called me 3 times. You left me a freaking DM. And you sent me a note. What's going on? I was like, I noticed you're posting on LinkedIn. You're not getting any comments. What's going on with you? And he's like, well, to tell you the truth, I don't know how to use the platform. I was like, what if I can teach you how to use it? Would that be helpful to you? He's like, you would change my life. Let that sink in. You would change my life. I was like, why would I change your life? He's because I have a firm with 100 CFOs and none of us know how to do it. I said, why don't I schedule a call with you and Fernando on my team? Go to evyai.com/calendar, schedule a call. He'll sit with you for 30 minutes and just, no sales pitch. He'll just teach you. I don't think he even knows how to do a sales pitch. He'll just teach you. He's a technical guy. He knows Python and he knows how to teach people. So he said, okay, I'll do it. He gets on the call with Fernando. 20 minutes into the call, he's like, you know what? Just sign me up. Sign me up. I'm ready to sign up. I need to learn this stuff. And the guy signed up for our solution, and now he couldn't be happier. He left us a massive testimonial. And this just happened in the past 30 days because of an in-mail that I sent out, but it wasn't just the in-mail. It was a customized in-mail specifically to CFOs in Tampa, Florida, but I also commented on his post, and I also called him and left him a voicemail. You get what I'm saying? I didn't leave him 3 voicemails. That would have been weird. I left him 1 voicemail, and I didn't send him a text or a WhatsApp. Sometimes I will do that as well. Depends on how far you want to go. Sometimes I'll show up at your door with flowers. Depends what you look like. Do you get what I'm saying? My point is, you can go one step further for people and you can change their life. It depends on how badly you want to solve people's problems. I had a sales rep I was training, and he's like, Joe, I'm embarrassed to call people. I said, why? He's like, because I don't want to bother them. I was like, but what if you were the answer to their dreams? And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to bother them. I was like, but what if you had $100,000 in cash that belonged to them and you had to give it back to them? Would you mind calling them to inform them that you have $100,000 in cash for them? He's like, oh, then I'd be so enthusiastic. So I was like, that's what we're doing. We're handing people $100,000 in profit for their business in perpetuity. Why are you too shy to call them? He's like, I didn't think about it that way. So it has nothing to do with them, and it has to do with your belief. Let that sit with you, I told him. And he just sat there and he thought to himself, and he's like, holy shit, you're right. I have some programming in my head that I'm bothering people when I reach out. I was like, by the way, you never even installed that programming. It was somebody else. Your parents installed it. When they said, stop it already, stop bothering me, when you tried to ask them for your toy back or for something or for food, for something that relied on your survival or something, you know? And then it got programmed that you shouldn't ask people for things. But the truth is, strangers is how we get to best friends. We start as strangers and we have to approach people. And the universe will help you approach people, but you need to be strategic. You can't just water the air and hope that your plant will grow. You got to water the plant. You got to know where the plant is, and you got to know how often to water it. You do it too often, you'll rot it. You know what I'm saying? You got to know how often to do it. And you got to use the right tools. That can be really helpful. You see the way I use templates on the side of my browser? It makes my life a lot easier. Or how I talk to the AI to give me the strategy, and it gives it to me just like that. Do you get what I'm saying? I didn't have to come up with the DM. If I had to come up with the DM, forget it. I'd never do it. I just never do it. It's too hard. I'm not a copywriter. I wrote 5 books manually, by the way. One of them is called High Energy Networking. I did that before AI was a thing. And I didn't even use my voice. I sat there and typed 2,000 words a day every day. And no, I didn't take cocaine before I did it, or sugar, or caffeine, or anything. I just worked hard. That's one thing I actually learned from my mother is how to work hard. Other thing I learned from my mother is don't just rely on luck, because she just relied on luck, and after 10 years of trying to get lucky, she went out of business. So I don't rely on luck. I make my luck by working really, really hard, and then the universe somehow ties dots for me. It's not easy for me to do the things that I do, and it's not going to, there's no easy button. Those people that try to sell you the easy button, they're trying to tell you, oh, you'll get rich quick. Let me show you how to do no work and close $1 million in business. That's not really the reality of our world. It says that when I studied to be a rabbi, they taught me man was born to toil. That's just, humans need to toil. If they want to be able to produce, they have to toil. And to feel productive, you want to toil on something that you enjoy doing, right? By the way, what problem do you solve for your clients? Put it in the chat, because people have their radar to solve problems in their head in business. You know what I mean? So if David wants to meet business owners, if you can get specific with the specific niche, then you can find the problem that niche has. You know what I mean? So if you're helping HVAC, they have specific problems that farmers don't have. Because a farmer has a different issue than an HVAC contractor. Am I right about that? I mean, an EOS implementer would know this, right, Stacy? An EOS implementer would know this because you guys create traction in businesses. And so understanding the target market, putting that into your big vision, knowing exactly who you're targeting and how many of them you need and all that jazz is really helpful. So I definitely would pick a geographic area that you're targeting people. I would definitely pick a demographic. Sometimes demographic could mean a person's age. You can't really tell people's age from LinkedIn, but you can tell their gender often by their name. So maybe you're targeting women business owners. So some people want to help more women business owners or people of a certain faith. Maybe Benjamin wants to work with Orthodox Jews in Muncie. Who knows? And if he does, he can search for people in Muncie with the name Shlomi. And those people are typically an Orthodox Jew because that's the name that they have. You get what I'm saying? So being strategic and knowing how to search using filters and also using some hacks, you'll be able to find the right people. So who are you targeting? So Stacy in Costa Rica. You look like you're in Costa Rica right there. I help business owners keep their cash and not give it to the IRS with the little known legal strategies. Amazing. Do you call them barely legal strategies? She's like, no, they're little known legal strategies. I love that. That's cool. But if you said I help plumbers keep their cash, it would speak to a plumber more. You know what I mean? So when you're doing Sales Navigator and you say, okay, I'm going to look for marketing agency owners in Detroit that are more than 20 employees, that whatever, and then you basically break that down. Then you can send your email saying, hey, I was helping another marketing agency owner save money with a little blah, 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 and we saved them $100,000 in their marketing agency. If you have more than 20 employees, I'd love to chat with you and show you one thing that most marketing agencies owners don't even know that they can do right now to put $100,000 in their pocket. Not sure if you're even curious about this, but if you are, let me know. Happy to tell you the trick. And the guy will be like, oh, what is the trick? Somebody will fall for it because that's what they're worried about. If you talk to people what they're worried about, and then you make it really easy for them to reply, it could be really helpful. You know what I mean? But you have to get the strategy and the targeting right. Then you got to build a list and make sure the list is not too big but not too small. And then from there, you can move on to searching to find the right people and add them to the list, and then writing the right email that will create curiosity so people actually want to hit that reply. And then after that, you need to use the alert system. And the alert system is we have a whole hour on how to use alerts on LinkedIn, but I'll quickly show you how the alerts work real quick, just so that you know. I'm going to go back home over here, and then I'm going to click. You see David, one of my prospects, just posted. I'm going to see, okay, so I see David posted 6 comments. I'm going to go ahead, like it, and I'm going to generate a comment. Now, I just generated a comment. I'm going to delete this farce over here. I'm going to say, David, high leading volunteer could really showcase your drive skills, and I press comment. Do you see what I just did? I didn't leave Sales Navigator, and I had my assistant write me something. Now, is it faster for you to write stuff yourself? Or is it faster to use an assistant? In the chat, write self or write assistant in the chat. I'm curious to know which one is faster, because if I have to use my mental capacity to do everything myself, I would not be able to run a multi-million-dollar business. That just won't work. And I probably won't even be able to generate 100,000 in profit just trying to do every little thing myself. It's hard. You need the right assistant to help you out. Now, hiring a full-time assistant, my first assistant, her name was Elle. I paid her $50,000 a year. Now she works for Channel 11, doing some great stuff, doing PR for them. But she worked for me in my office, and she would come in and interrupt me and help me and support me, and everything that I needed, she was there for me. You don't have to pay $50,000 for an assistant today. You could pay nothing. You could literally pay nothing and have an assistant help you. As a matter of fact, I might even be able to pull my phone out and ask one of my assistants to join the call right now. Let me just see if I can pull my Bluetooth into the computer. I'm loading it right now. Let's see, and I can pull it open here and ask one of my favorite assistants to join our call in real time right now. And let's just see if it works. I don't know if it'll work. So I'm doing a class on Sales Navigator. Are you able to join me?
I'm not able to join you directly on Sales Navigator, but I'm definitely help you out with any questions or strategies you need to tackle on this. Just let me know what you need. I'll do my best with this.
Okay. Well, I don't know if everyone can hear you, but I'm actually have 21 people in a presentation, and Renee's telling me that she can hear you. But I have all these people, and I'm teaching them how to use Sales Navigator. And as my assistant, because you're really smart, can you act as like my strategy assistant and help me craft a strategy for one of my clients here that are sitting here listening to me? For example, somebody says, I help business owners keep their cash and not give it to the IRS with little known legal strategies. Can you help with a strategy for targeting? Like, who should she be targeting?
Active strategy. Target audience should definitely be like who's paying attention, so that can be. So,
Joe, I just want to give you a heads up. We can't hear your assistant through the audio.
Oh, you can't hear the assistant. Okay, so
No,
let
I
me
heard in the
see.
beginning, but now it's kind of
Let
going
me
out.
let me share my sound. Let me change the sound and optimize the sound for stereo. And let me just see now. Can you say that again and see if everyone can hear you?
sure thing. What can you do? So as I was saying, targeting small to mid-sized business owners would be a great strategy. You can use Sales Navigator filters to go down by industry, company size, revenue, and other factors to find the right prospects. Let me know if that came through clearly.
Did that come through clearly, guys?
It was muffled.
Oh, muffled. Okay, so we'll stop that because obviously it came in as muffled. So I don't know why it's coming in as muffled. Usually people can hear it loud and clear. I'm looking at my
Yeah,
optimized for
sometimes Zoom audio can be a bit finicky when trying.
to share the audio. It's acting
Yeah,
weird. Okay, let me try it here. Let me try it over here. So what I'm gonna first do is I'm gonna pull up one of your profiles. I'm gonna pull up this profile over here. I'm actually gonna save this profile into evyAI. And I'm going to do AI research because I told you guys I would do a little bit of AI research on Stacy. I'm going to pull up this profile here. I'm going to simply just I just clicked on one of these agents, and I can click several agents which will help me find, I'm using Copilot over here. I'm not logged in, as you can see, using the API to be able to just quickly, find out everything I can about this person. I have conversation starters, potential business opportunities, notable achievements. Perplexity also found a bunch of information over here. And then we also had OpenAI be able to find information here. Now, I'm curious to know, right here, let me go into voice mode and see what happens. Can you see that I'm doing AI research on Stacy?
Got it. I hope that summary helps with your research. If you need more details or have any specific questions about Stacy or anything else, just let me know.
sounds good.
Okay,
This
that
sounds
sounds
clear to
good.
me.
Okay, so if I wanted to help Stacy be able to grow her business, what would be the number one thing that you would suggest I tell Stacy to do? I mean, I see she doesn't have a profile photo. I see she doesn't have a background banner. I see she hasn't changed her LinkedIn URL. So there's a couple things she can do. But if she wanted to get more clients as a professional EOS implementer, and she's been doing that just for 2 months, so she's pretty new to it, what would you suggest that we tell her to do?
A great place for Stacy to start would be to really optimize her LinkedIn profile to reflect her expertise and attract potential clients. First, she could definitely add a professional profile photo and a branded background banner that speaks to her work as an EOS implementer. Then she could create and share content regularly that highlights her success stories, client testimonials, and insights about EOS. This will help build credibility and attract more clients over time.
Awesome. Can you tell me an industry that you think Stacy should focus on based on the fact that she was an entrepreneurs organization as an EO accelerator coach, and she also was the executive vice president of Mountain Sports Distribution in Canada, and of course she was the CEO of UTV Canada and a finance assistant at DK Ford. Can you give me some suggestions for, being that she has some experience in automotive and sports and so on? What would you suggest that she go after as an EOS implementer?
Given Stacy's background in the automotive and sports distribution industries, it would be a natural fit for her to focus on businesses in those areas. She could target companies that are involved in automotive parts, off-road vehicles, or even adventure sports equipment. Her experience with UTV Canada and Mountain Sports Distribution gives her a unique perspective on the challenges and opportunities in these niches. Additionally, she could look at industries that align with the entrepreneurial spirit of EO, like emerging startups in outdoor recreation, lifestyle brands, or even eco-friendly automotive solutions.
Okay, can you tell me the exact industry to choose if I'm looking within Sales Navigator or I chose geography, but what should I search for in Sales Navigator to pull up a quick list for her?
In Sales Navigator, you can start with the industry filters that align closely with her background. For example, you can select industries like automotive, sporting goods, and even recreational facilities and services if you want to get a bit broader. You could also look into consumer goods if you think lifestyle brands might be a fit.
Okay,
Combining these
recreational was good. We just chose sports and recreation instruction, which was an option, but Sales Navigator filters are pretty shitty, so I don't want to use Sales Navigator filters. I would rather just search a keyword. Give me one keyword that I should search and just tell me the keyword. Don't give me explanations. Just give me a good keyword, please.
off-road,
Okay, excellent. Off-road is excellent. Give me one more keyword.
power sports.
Ooh, I like power sports. That one speaks to me much more. I'm going to search power sports right now. That's a good one. Thank you very much for that. You're so kind, ChatGPT.
I'm glad you like that one. I think it'll definitely help Stacy find the right audience. Let me know how it goes or if you need any more help.
The problem is when I search, those keywords, and I search CEO, only one result comes up in Edmonton. So I want something that's a little more, you know, general so I can get a list of a few hundred. Like, for example, I searched automotive and I got 56 results, which is not terrible. If I search, for example, off-road, um, I only get 17 results, which is not bad either because they're CEOs. So, I think we could put together a list of a dream 100 companies, especially if we pick a certain head count, um, maybe 50 to 1,000 or 50 to 200 or something, or 11 to 200. We might be able to find people. The key is not to go viral. The key is for us to find good people she can connect with in her local area. And then we're searching in Edmonton, so we can move to different areas like Vancouver. And what are the places that has the most businesses that would likely be good candidates near Edmonton? Give me those places, those geographic locations.
That sounds like a solid plan for building that Dream 100 list. In terms of areas near Edmonton with a strong business presence, you could definitely look at Calgary, which is another major business hub.
Calgary. That's so smart. I didn't even think of that. Calgary. By the way, could you give me a list of 5 companies that you think she should be targeting? Names of companies specifically?
Here are 5 companies in Alberta related to off-road, power sports, or automotive industries. Martin Motorsports, located in Edmonton, they offer a range of power sports vehicles and services. CycleWorks Motorsports, with locations in both Edmonton and Calgary, they provide new and used ATVs, UTVs, motorcycles, and snowmobiles. 3, Argyle Motorsports and Marine, situated in Edmonton. They specialize in motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and related services. 4, Revival.
Okay, guys, do you understand what I'm doing over here? I'm literally using Sales Navigator with the sales assistant sitting next to me, telling me everything I need to be doing. I could use it with text, evyAI templates, comments, all that jazz. Or I could literally just have it talk to me while I do it. Or if you want to use Gemini on your phone, you can have it watch you do it on your phone and suggest things to you in real time. Like, what are we, like, really? This is where we're headed? We're headed where we literally have a genius in our ear that knows everything. You just have to know what to ask the genie. You don't even have to rub it. You don't even have to rub your phone or the what's it called? The thing, where you rub it and make 3 wishes. You don't have to rub it to make 3 wishes. You don't know rubbing required. You literally just talk to it, but you have to be smart, because if you ask the genie a question saying, get me clients, and it comes and it brings you a bunch of peasants that don't have any money, now you're stuck with a bunch of people that are asking you to barter with them. I met a guy yesterday at a trade show, and I'm standing there, and he comes over to me. He's like, oh, I need help with marketing. I was like, ooh, you need help with marketing? I might know some people. He doesn't know that I have a marketing agency for 17 years. I didn't tell him. So he's like, okay. I was like, what type of marketing agency? He's like, I want one that really knows what they're doing. I was like, are you willing to invest in your brand and your marketing? He's like, yeah, I'm willing to invest a lot into my marketing. I was like, what do you consider a lot? He's like, well, to tell you the truth, I'm a startup. I just started my business. So I don't really have a lot of cash on hand, but I can barter. I was like, oh, awesome. What are you willing to give? Do you have any sheep? Do you have any ducks? Like, what are you willing to barter? And he looks at me and starts laughing. He's like, I don't have a farm. I'm a business broker. I can help you sell your business when you're ready to sell it. And, I usually charge $100,000 to sell your business. And I won't charge you anything to sell your business, and I'll find you someone to buy your business for you. And all you have to do is help me get more clients. And I was like, okay, would you like fries with that? And he started laughing. I was like, do you really think you're going to find a marketing agency to like just help you for barter? He's like, hopefully. I was like, why don't you just put together a $20,000, $30,000 budget and get them to really help you? He's like, because all marketing agencies are scammers. And I looked at him and I was like, so you want to barter with a scammer? He's like, but this way they have skin in the game. I was like, wow. Wow, if I had a competitor, I'm in my head, if I had a competitor that I really didn't like, I would introduce you to them. The idea is there's a lot of people out there that are strange cats. You know what I mean? And that they think they're going to get everything for nothing because, I don't know, because they're just not experienced enough in business, or they're not willing to invest and they're trying to get lucky or whatever they're trying to do. And those are not the customers that you want to attract. So if you know exactly what you're looking for, make a list of your Dream 100. That's what I tell everybody. As part of your strategy, make a list of Dream 100 of ideal clients that you really want to do business with, that have something in common with you. Like, for example, I want to meet sales trainers. I'm a LinkedIn trainer. I train companies on how to use LinkedIn. I am an AI trainer, but I'm not necessarily a sales trainer. That's not what I do for a living. So I want to meet sales trainers. So anytime I tell that to people, they're like, oh, I know someone that's a sales accelerator trainer or a Sandler trainer or whatever. I can introduce you. And they introduce me. And not only do they become a customer, but they have sales teams that I can train on their behalf on how to use LinkedIn and stuff like that. Do you get what I'm saying? So I love doing research on people, connecting and building relationships, and adding people to lists. Lists are really important. So, for example, Stacy is here. I'm going to add her to a list called EOS. I have a list of all the EOS implementers right over here in the EOS list. You see that? Because EOS implementers are great clients for me, because when I help them be able to use LinkedIn more effectively with evyAI. Okay. And by the way, we do have something called the bundle, where we throw in $10,000 worth of LinkedIn training at no cost. You just buy the software, and we don't make this publicly available. But because you guys are an EO or whatever it is, if you're interested in learning more about the bundle, just write bundle in the chat. I can't offer it to you here because there's no sales going on, but I can have someone on my team reach out to you at some point in the future and offer you the bundle. Again, it's not publicly available, but if you want to learn more, just write bundle and someone on my team will let you know. Okay, moving on. Next, Benjamin. I want to research Benjamin. So how do I research Benjamin? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save him to a list. And then once I save him to a list, I open him up and I pull up one of my agents. I pull up a second agent. I pull up a third agent. And these agents will help me. And if I want to talk to the agent, all I got to do is after it finishes doing its thing, I click on the little circle and I can have a conversation with the agent, and it will do whatever I need to do in order to be successful with the conversation. But you can see I have 6 different agents that I can use, and each one will help me be able to find other information about the person. So he has a scheduling link here, and he has his ID number and conversation starters and everything that I need. And if I want to save all this information, like for example, let's say I want to save all the information Copilot gave me as a note, I can save it as a note by clicking on networking, clicking on notes, and then clicking on add a new note. And I just saved a note about him. So when we're talking, I know exactly what to say. Do you know what I mean? If I get through to him like that. Okay, moving on. Any of these people that are here, if they attended an event with me, I would love to save them into evyAI, write what event they attended, so that later I can follow up with them. And I could also research them to learn more about them, which makes my life easier. And the other thing I like to do is I like to find people on other platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Google. I like to do a Google search on people to find out more information about them. And if I find them, then I'll follow them on the other platforms. You see that? I'll follow them. And then what I could also do is I can send them a message on the other platforms using a template. Like I have a lot of different templates. I have a template for Instagram over here. So this is my Instagram template. Instagram. So I have a whole list of templates for Instagram for templates. And then I can just click a message over here. And I can just inject it right over here. Do you see that? I could just inject this message here. Thanks for being on my Instagram follower. Just checking to see if you were able to see my stories. Some people say they can't see them. That's a great way for me to get people to see my stories, even if they're not following you. You just send them that message, and they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "What? Oh, I'm not following you. Oh, what happened? How'd you get unfollowed? We're best friends. What happened?" You get what I'm saying? We're connected on LinkedIn. How come you're not following me on Instagram? I'm not going to say that that's weird, but this way you'll look at my story and you'll be like, oh my God, look at the way Joe shakes his booty in the park. That's amazing. And then I see you're on Facebook over here, and I see that you sent me a Facebook request and I didn't respond. I'm embarrassed now. I'm totally embarrassed. I apologize. So now I need to apologize to you profusely. So what can I do to make it up to you? I'm going to send you a message. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to click on the microphone here on the right. Renee, thank you so much for attending the session today. I apologize that I didn't accept your connection request. I'm totally embarrassed right now. What can I do to make it up to you? And now I could just click in here and then just boom, just like that. Do you see that? So it's much faster for me to talk. By the way, it's free. Do you talk faster or do you type faster? Mia says, we're looking forward to seeing you in EO Atlanta next year. I'm the Marcom chair, and I just wrote up the event calendar. Ooh, do you have the date for me so Jen could put it in my calendar? I'm not sure the exact date, so I want to make sure it's in my calendar. Jen, make sure you get the date for EO Atlanta and you block off travel time and all that jazz. Okay. Talking is much faster for me. Oh, did I just win something? I just heard something. April, no date. Okay, excellent. All right, excellent. Just make sure it's not on Passover because I think I have my kids on Passover next year. Okay. Joanne in China. Look at Joanne in China. So if I want to connect with Joanne in China, look, so I'm viewing him through the organic part of LinkedIn. If I want to view him through Sales Navigator, I click on View in Sales Navigator. And you see the way it loads and it looks different? So I'm going to pull up Johan like this and Johan like this so you can see the difference. And I'm going to just close evyAI. But do you see the way Johan appears differently here and here? Over here, it tells me if this is the first time I'm seeing the person. It also tells me his current role. Sometimes it'll also tell me his contact information. If the contact information is not available anywhere over here, what I'll sometimes do is I'll ask a third-party tool like Apollo to do research within their database. They have 250 million people there. And then if I click access email, sometimes it'll give me their email. You see that? So this time it'll give me his email. And then I can take his email and then I can save it into his record in evyAI so that I have it. Sometimes AI research will find it. Sometimes I'll have to use Apollo or Contact Out. Both of those are really good solutions for finding people's emails. You see? I just saved his email over here. And if I want to leave a comment on him, I could leave a comment on his post. I see he posted 4 hours ago in this language. I don't even know what language this is, but guess what? evyAI doesn't care what language it is because it can answer in any language. So I can go in here and I can just do Alt-G, which is a keyboard shortcut that helps me be able to like read the post and be able to quickly answer. I'm going to go in here. Let's just see. Oh, I pressed Windows G. Ulchi will read the post and automatically just insert it. Okay? Program sounds like an incredible opportunity for students learning the language and gaining practical interest in China. Joanne, thanks for sharing this. Encourage anyone to apply before the deadline. It could be transformative experience, even though this wasn't even in English. But this was in English. Isn't that interesting? And by the way, I can drag things like this. Look, I can take this and drag it into evyAI, and then I can say, write a post about this. Write a post about this event. You see that? Write a post about this event for LinkedIn and make sure to include a hook, main points, a call to action, and hashtags. And then I hit generate, and it's going to take this image that I did, and it'll write a whole post about it. You guys saw the way I dragged the image from LinkedIn to here? Ready to accelerate your career at the global scale? Switch China is offering Swedish students a chance to combine intensive Chinese language with real-world business experience. You see that? Isn't that cool? Yes, it connects with any platform because you can just push things from evyAI from the side to the middle. You know what I mean? So if I wanted to push this as a comment into Monday.com, I could just either copy and paste into Monday, or I could just insert it directly into Monday. So it works. It integrates with every single platform. It doesn't matter what platform you use. So I'll use it with ChatGPT. Well, I'll insert prompts into ChatGPT. Do you guys want to see a cool prompt where I take a person's headshot and turn it into I take a person's headshot and turn it into a really nice picture of them? Actually, this woman recently hit me up and asked me to do that, but it doesn't look like Stacy has a headshot. So let me, you do have a headshot? Oh, it's just in private. You just put it in private mode. Okay. But I could probably find you if I Google you, Stacy. I could probably find it. By the way, do you guys have any questions before we wrap up? Because we're at the top of the hour, and I want to make sure I totally got carried away. I went down the vortex. I went down the vortex of LinkedIn. That you could see I could talk about Sales Navigator for 6 hours. I do 1 hour on strategy, 1 hour on list building, specifically the technical ways to use lists, 1 hour on search. There's 34 search filters, so I explain each one. 1 hour on InMail. I teach you how to write the best InMail. 1 hour on alerts. I showed you alerts a little bit, but there's so many more nuances to alerts. And there's also saved searches and many other things. And then we talk about automation as well as a bonus for the 6th hour. We talk about like how to automate things and so on. But yeah, so I'm happy to help anybody. We have about 1,000 paid clients that are in our community that we're helping on a regular basis in 37 countries around the world. Next week, I have a meeting with a very large company. They have 21 million clients, and I'm going to try to build a joint venture partnership with them. And by the way, I used LinkedIn to build a relationship with this person, and they're on the top of the food chain at the company. So it's possible that one opportunity could turn into 1 million clients for us. That's what I'm gunning for. You guys get it? So I want you guys to think big, but realize that you don't need more than like 1,000 people in your network for you to kind of do what you need to do. You don't need millions and millions of people if you're strategic. You have 1,000 of the right people, you can achieve anything. Okay. What did you guys get from this? David, do you want to share something? It looks like you're very excited right now.
That's the inner CFO in me. No, I would say for me, it was just all in education. Like I've never used any of these tools. I mean, I've used ChatGPT, for stuff, but in terms of like the Sales Navigator side of things, like I didn't even know how much of that existed and just learning functionality. So this is just a new experience for me in general, even outside of the evyAI integration stuff.
Okay, fantastic. That's so exciting. What about you, Renee? What did you get out of this? I'm always curious to know what people get out of this because I just talk a lot and then I don't even know if anyone even heard anything. Go ahead.
I think the general sentiment is that I've been hesitant to dive in because it just feels like one more thing to do and one more email inbox to manage. And anyway, the sentiment that I'm getting from here is that it's a lot easier than I'm making it up in my head to be with AI help. So this was refreshing and I'm looking forward to learning more.
And I just want to say, now that you mentioned that, I just want to say that just so you know, every single time you get an in-mail, LinkedIn also sends you an email with the details of what was in the in-mail. So whereas when you send a DM to somebody on LinkedIn, you get back a thing. If someone DMs you, go into LinkedIn to see you got one new message from John. With in-mail, it's different. It'll actually send you the subject line and the actual thing that they sent you. So you can qualify it from your email even without going into LinkedIn. So just FYI, which is also on the other side, it's very powerful too. because if I send Benjamin an email, I'm not connected to him, he'll actually get the subject line and the body of the thing as if it's an email delivered by LinkedIn. So that's a powerful thing to do 800 times per month. You don't have to do it 800, but like, do it 20 times or 30, 50, 100, whatever.
Yeah.
Mia, do you have something that you want to share? By the way, I love the break front behind you with that thing. I just got a new one in my house in New Jersey.
Yeah. Well, this is the oldest one. This is one of the oldest pieces of furniture in my house. So,
Oh, wow.
So do you use keywords and tested subject lines and messaging in your tool that optimizes like the open rate and success?
I say it's very different depending on who you're targeting. If I was targeting someone who's retired, the key is to trigger people.
Yeah.
You want to trigger the crap out of people. I know it sounds really terrible to say that, but you want to literally trigger somebody that they're like have a visceral response, because people are zombies on LinkedIn or on
Right.
the internet, period. So I always say the number one thing to consider is sparking curiosity and keeping it short. Those are the like number one consideration. Sparking curiosity while keeping it short. The reason I say that's just one thing, because it's basically one in the other. If you can send somebody something where they're actually, because you're not trying to close a deal, you're just literally tapping a guy on the shoulder, right? You're tapping a gal on the shoulder. So if I'm tapping you on the shoulder, I want you not to slap me in the face. I want you not to ignore me. Because if I said one comedy tickets, one comedy tickets, one comedy tickets, you'd be like, get away from me. But if I tapped you on the shoulder and said something interesting that made you want to respond to me, like, oh my gosh, did you see what just happened? And they're like, what happened? The guy around the corner is giving out free comedy tickets. Now, I know you're not the type of person that is even interested in comedy at all, because look at your face. You have a resting bitch face, I tell the guy. And the guy's like, what do you mean? I have a resting bitch face? And he's like, yeah. And then we have a whole we start laughing. Or he's like, really? Come here and say that, mother effer. And then we get into it. Or we don't, because I do like to say something that will trigger you get what I'm saying? You tell a guy he has that, he might either get upset or he'll start laughing his ass off and be like, where's the comedy club that's giving out free tickets? Did I say it was free? And then you just have a fun thing and you turn it into it's the same thing in real life. If you're ever at a trade show and you want to stop someone, how are you going to stop someone? What are you going to say? Same thing in LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You say something that's a little extreme, but at the same time, it's interesting enough for them to actually want to respond. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 'cause
That's
what I don't like now is the people that are emailing us that pretend like they know us and they don't. I mean, that's annoying.
That's a lie. That's
Yeah.
lying, stealing, and cheating.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
don't
the
like
three
that
things.
technique.
Don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat, and don't make believe you know me. Oh my God, John, it's so good to speak to you again. I love you so much. And then you're like, click, right? You're not interested. But if the person is like, listen, let me be honest with you. I was looking at your LinkedIn profile. I noticed that we've never spoken before, but I noticed some incredible opportunity for you by just changing one tiny thing. Are you even remotely curious to speak to me for 30 seconds so I can tell you more about this? And you're like, sure, go ahead. I'm waiting for my kids to finish their basketball game anyway. I'm bored out of my head. I'm drinking vodka. No one knows. Whatever. Do you get what I'm saying? So you could also tell by or the person's like, no, thank you, goodbye. Boom, I'm busy. I picked up a call. You shouldn't have picked up. You're in a meeting. Why are you picking up the call? That's a whole nother conversation that we need to have. Like, why are you picking up the call if you're in a meeting? So, like I am a big fan of not just DMing, but also calling, because it's like a weird thing that people stopped calling. They're like, oh, but I can DM. Why should I call? Why should you call? Because people want to hear your voice. People want to hug. By the way, are you like hugs? Write hugs in the chat if you're into hugs. I'm into hugs. A lot of people are not. I recently went to a place where everybody's worth $100 million in the room. There were about 40 people in the room. They were doing like a philanthropy thing. The reason I was there is because I was teaching AI. Anyway, we're all sitting around the room, and I go over to a guy I haven't seen in 10 years. I walk over and I'm like, can we hug? He's like, yeah, we hug. And I don't leave go. And he's like tapping me. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, what do you mean? We're doing a 20-second hug. He's like, this is not Burning Man. He's like, this is not Burning Man here. I'm not ready to get married to you yet. I was like, you're worth so much money. You're such a successful guy and you can't handle a hug. What's going on with you? He's like, you're right. I can't even do this with my kids either. There's something wrong with this. Like, nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Me and you just need to have a 1-hour conversation about who you really are and what's stopping you from being where you want to be. He's like, you know what? I'll take you up on that. Here's my cell phone. And we did a selfie. And he's like, next time we meet, maybe we'll do a 20-second hug. Maybe we'll get into it a little bit. He's like, I just don't want everyone to look at us hugging and think maybe we're doing something else. I was like, well, no one's thinking we're doing something else. You sound like my ex-wife. Anyway, that's the idea. But some people, they're just like so like disconnected from like this world that they're afraid to like someone's trying to take something from them. I called this LinkedIn connection named Ron. I did this live on the last webinar we had. We do webinars twice a month. And Ron picks up the phone. He's like, what are you selling? What are you selling? I was like, Ron, I'm your connection on LinkedIn. I literally have nothing to sell you. And he's like, how is that possible? Tell me, well, what am I doing wrong? What do you want to advise me? What do you want to advise me? I was like, Ron, I'm not trying to advise you. I literally called you. I was like, what happened to you? Who hurt you? And we were having, and then it turns into this whole yummy conversation. And then later he's like, I got to go, but I will call you back because I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you and I want to refer business to you and da 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 da. And it was like, wow. Wow. And I had 100 of my clients watching this and they're like, how the hell did you do that? I just build a relationship. Just have a real conversation with the person. Just be present and listen and tune in. Most people are so scattered with their thoughts, they're not giving their attention. But if you look at someone's profile and you see ammunition for what to say, use the ammunition. That's what I love about LinkedIn that's very different than TikTok and any other place. You see everybody's first name, last name, company name, where they worked before, where they went to school. You're telling me you can't build rapport with someone like that? You can't build rapport with someone? The problem is we're trying to sell people without making effort, and that is the problem, without actually customizing. That's the problem. So do less and personalize more, but do. That's why I said do. At least send one in-mail a day. At least send out 20 connection requests per week. That's a 5,000 a year. If you send out 20 connection requests every single day for a year, 100 a week, there's 50 weeks, 50 times 100 is 5,000 connection requests. 30% accept. That's about 1,500 people that you'll have as new connections. Even if you get on the phone with 20% of those people and they're your ideal clients or referral partners, you're going to generate $100,000 in profit from that. Especially if you follow up, because the fortune's in the follow-up. Rarely does somebody just sign up when they first see you for the first time. It takes some follow-up for you to continue to nurture the seedling to turn into a bush. Who doesn't love a good tomato bush? Okay, Benjamin says you need to add a note when you're sending a connection request. I do recommend adding a note. That's another reason to pay for LinkedIn, because LinkedIn stopped allowing you to add notes to most people when you don't pay for it. And the reason I recommend writing a note is because I have 1,000 people waiting to connect with me on LinkedIn. Watch. I have 1,000 people, and I know we're over time, so if you guys need to bounce, you can bounce. But check this out. It's not rude if you leave, because I'm being rude for continuing to be here. I have 29,988 people connected to me. I'm going to click Show More over here just to kind of show you. I have 1,000 people waiting to connect with me. The people that don't write that they know me, then I don't know that I will accept it. Like, for example, Sherry, I happen to know she messaged me saying she wants to do business with me. You see, look, she said, hi there, found you through the, actually, I'm interested in automating funnels. I said, here's my cell, very busy. Give me a window and I'll see if I can pop in. Sounds good. Call me at 6 p.m. or send me your cell. Okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit accept, and I'm going to accept her into my network because she's somebody that I know that she's a potential client. You know what I'm saying? She reached out to me. I did a speech in front of 400 people yesterday, and she reached out to me. And she's also a great center of influence. But do you see what I'm talking about? If someone doesn't write me a note and I don't know who they are, why would I accept it if I have 1,000 people waiting to connect with me? I have to sit down and do research and work hard, leave a note, tell them what the connection, tell them why they should accept it. evyAI will write your note for you in a second. But that's the idea. Any other questions? What are you going to the burn this year? I really would love to go. I have my beautiful children. I have 5 kids, single dad, 5 kids. So if I have my kids, that's why I haven't gone yet. I went to Summit though. That was a beautiful weekend. Do you know what Summit is, Renee? It's basically Burning Man for business.
Yeah, I haven't been to that, but I do know about it.
160 hugs in 100 hours.
That's cool.
More than 20 seconds each. 91 selfies, 44 deep relationships, and 1 business opportunity that can turn into 1 million clients for me. Just for me being present. No agenda, just showing up, just like that. That's the key to attraction. Like if you get into the right frequency, you still have to take action. You still have to go to Detroit. You still have to do the selfies. You still have to work hard, lose your voice through the process, dance, whatever, wear the tefillin, whatever that you need to do. You still have to do the work, make the keli, make the vessel, but your blessings come when you align your heart and your head and your hip. You got to align all three. But your heart and your head, if you can get aligned and you take all the right actions, you surround yourself with the right people, everything good in my life came from relationships. You got to take relationships seriously. You got to make it like a business. The reason why the word networking has the word work in it is because it's hard. It's hard work. It really is. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. Is there anything that you want to say before we wrap up?
Yeah, there's no other questions, then we can wrap. But thank you, everyone. This session was amazing. Having Joe back. I mean, it's always a great session with you. The recording will be shared with all end of the day today or tomorrow morning. And then we had some questions about the boot camp. Will that also be available
Yeah,
to be shared?
I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. If you want to book a meeting with Fernando, but essentially it's a pre-recorded boot camp. We did it many times live, but it's a 6-hour thing. You can watch it at your own pace as many times as you like. You get lifetime access, and we'll give you guys a special deal. Just set up a call with one of our team members, and we'll do it. Or you can just call my cell. My cell is 917-865-7631. I put it in the chat, or text me, and I can send you a link if you want. 917-865-7631. Yeah, it's a no sales zone, but if you call my cell and you want something, I'll help you buy it. And I'll give you a crazy deal on it too. So just FYI. Is that a good way for me to answer that question?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. And again, the recording will be shared with all so you can rewatch the session. There's a lot of information, so definitely worth the rewatch.